Hey there, welcome back. Okay, so this is the episode 6 of this series of videos. In this video, we're going to be exploring ARM assembly, we're going to be exploring branches and loops. So, as always, before we start the video, make sure you follow me on the different platforms we have, social media platforms we have, Twitter, Instagram, and we can connect on LinkedIn. And don't forget to also join us in the Discord server we have. Yes, please, there's a lot of you who are not subscribing. Just subscribe. Just make sure you're subscribed to and activate the notification bell. That's it. So let's start this video. So this video is going to be really quick. So we're going to be trying to learn about branches and loops. So I'm sure you've seen something like that before. So how do we do a loop? So I'm going to be just mimicking what while is going to be doing. So we have in while I is inferior to 10, we're going to be having I plus plus. For example, this is a simple example, and when we have the I initialized to be equal to 0. So we're going to be incrementing an I, and we want to see how does this looks like when it's gonna be looking something like that in assembly. So we want to know the equivalent of this in assembly. Ta-da-da-da. Okay, so yeah, we want to know what is the equivalent of this in assembly, and the question is like, why are we even doing this? Yeah, so we want to know that. So we are going now to build something. So we are in the path of building something in ARM, and eventually, when we're gonna be reverse engineering something in ARM, we need to also know how something is built first, right? So this is the idea. So we're gonna be trying to see how we can actually do this together. So I'm gonna be leaving it as a challenge for you. You can pause the video and try to make this instructions into ARM assembly, so you can actually just check out the ARM assembly instruction set and just do it yourself. If you can't, just follow me in here. So yeah. So the first thing first, we have the start. So we want to know what is the start is where things, as we know, starts kicking off. So first thing we want to know is that we need to be initializing the I. So I'm gonna be using the resistor 0 as the I. So we're gonna be moving into R0, so the value 0x um, 0. So I'm gonna be initializing it as a 0 since now for now it's just a 0, but I'm gonna be assuming that if it's not a 0, then okay, now we're just initializing it as a 0. So this is the I equal to 0. And then the next thing we're going to be doing is that we're going to be adding something called a label. So a label is where things starts to get spicy. So we have the loop. We're going to be calling it a label. So this is basically a label where we're going to be saying to the program, hey, we're going to be pinpointing to loop whenever we have a loop. So we're going to be using it when doing something called branching. Yeah, so we're gonna be doing a comparison. So we're gonna be comparing the first thing, the while we know, as we know that the while is basically something that is going to be checked at the first moment of the loop. So as long as something is, for this case, we have while I inferior to 10, then we're gonna be doing I plus plus. So we should be able to do the comparison as the first thing. So as long as the conversion of R0 with the value 10, so you can just put it in hexadecimal. As long as the conversion between R0 and 10, so the first thing first, we know, as we just saw in the previous videos, that the conversion is going to be changing eventually the CPSR flags. Eventually, we're going to be playing on that thing. So we're going to be branching. So we're going to be saying B to say that we want to branch. If it is greater or equal to, let's say there's another branch called done. And done is going to be basically just setting R1 to the value, I don't know, for example, 10. So we're going to be branching if the result is greater or equal to the branch done. Otherwise, we're going to be adding, so we're going to be adding, for example, to the R0 and the value 1. So this is what we are going to be doing. So we're going to be, this is just simulating, by the way, I++, and this thing is simulating if the I is superior or equal to 10, then you're going to be branching to done, else you're going to be continuing. So this is basically what we are doing. Yeah. So once we do this, we're going to be branching to loop. So we're going to be getting back to the loop as long as we don't have anything so done. We're going to be doing the loop, 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 etc., etc., etc. So we're going to just compile and run this one. So we're gonna have so we need to step into so one step, and now the R0 is 0, and the next one is that we compare the R0 with 10. We see the comparison is basically not there, so he's gonna be taking the path of adding a 1 to the R0. The R0 is done, and you're gonna be seeing it like that. So you can see, just check the registers while I'm stepping into, and you're gonna be seeing that the R0 is incrementing. And now the R0 is 8, which means that it's greater or equal. So now the conversion is going to be going into done, and as we can see now, the program counter is at the instruction 14, and we're going to be just doing a step into, and the R1 is 10. So this is a simple example of how loops work. So straightforward, nothing unusual, so really easy. Boom, you just learned how to do loops. Really simple, right? As long as you know what the comparison is, then the different other instructions we have built along the videos or along the series that we have of videos, eventually now we are playing with ARM. So yeah, uh, every time, for example, when we're going to be reverse engineering ARM, if there's an instruction that we don't know, eventually we're going to be heading back to see what the ARM instruction set is having toward that instruction. So it's really simple. It's really that simple. Yeah. So I'm going to be just reloading the page. So, and we're going to be now trying another example. So let's suppose now we want to iterate through an array. For example, let's say we have an array, okay? So we have an array of variables. So first thing first, how do we declare how do we do the declaration of arrays? So this is something we've already done in the previous videos when we were like working with LDM, STM, LDR, STR. So I suppose you've already watched this video, so I'm gonna be assuming that you know them. So we're gonna be declaring a data section just for this one. So, and we're gonna be putting array. So the array is gonna be of type word, where the words are gonna be 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. It's really that simple. So this is gonna be the dot text section eventually, where the code is gonna be executed. And so if we try to do, for example, move R0, just an example, just make sure that it's compiling. So if you do like step into, let's compile succeeded. Let's get back in here. Okay, so we have the array, which is like having 5 words. So we have a 10, we have a 20, we have a 30, and we have a 40, and we have a 50. So we're going to be trying to iterate through this array. So first thing first, we need to initialize few things. First thing is that we need to get the address of the array, and we need to load it inside of a variable. So eventually we need to load it inside of a variable. So we have the R0 equal to the array, as we can see in here. So yeah, we just need to do equal. So this is what the R0 is going to be having. So it's going to be having the address of the array. And the R1, so the R1 is going to be having the value 0, and this is basically going to be our I. So I equal to 0. It's going to be the loop index. And let's suppose we want to do the sum of the values of the array, and we, instead of just going through each of the values manually and adding them up inside of a variable called sum. So what we are trying to do is that we are having this array, just to make sure you understand exactly what we have. So let's take this one out. So yeah, array is basically having something like that: 20, 20, 30, 40, and 50. And what we are trying to do is we're trying to iterate from I equal to 0, I inferior to 5, I plus plus, and we're going to be having a sum plus equal to the array of I. And the array of I in here, we have a sum equal to 0, and this is what we are actually trying to do. So we're trying to do the equivalent of this simple algorithm that is going to be adding the sum of these elements in ARM, and we're going to be just trying to do this just to apply our knowledge around branches and loops. So yeah, so we're gonna be, as we said, just initializing the I, and the second thing that we need to initialize too is that we need to initialize the sum. So the sum is gonna be inside of the register 2, and we're gonna be just setting it, so this is sum equal to 0. And then we're gonna be needing to also move inside of R3 the size of the elements, or the number of elements that we need to sum up. So in this case, they are gonna be 5. So yeah, so this is the n equal to 5. That's it. So now we are ready to start our loop. So we're gonna be putting the label loop to say that we are starting to loop now, and we're gonna be saying that we need to take the number of we need to first thing first is to initialize the first value, eventually the element that we are actually reading. And to do that, we need to use LDR. So I'm going to be saying LDR, I'm going to be loading inside of register 4 what? So we need to be loading something. So I'm already expecting that you know what LDR is. If you haven't, if you don't know exactly what LDR is doing, just go back to the previous videos. You're going to be finding a video about LDR. Just watch it, and you can just came back in here, and you're going to be understanding exactly what I'm doing. So we have R0. So this is basically the base address that we're going to be reading from, which is of the array. And I'm going to be reading inside of it, so the R1. So, and we're going to be just doing a left shift left with E2. So this is basically what we're going to be doing, and eventually this just to say that we are actually just doing an LDR. So if we try to compile and load this one, it is actually compiling. It's working perfectly fine. So what this do basically, guys, is that it feels like it is doing the same thing as saying that we want to read the array at the address I. So, and the actually, just to make sure you understand exactly what I'm talking about, the base plus the I multiplied by 4. So R1 is actually the I, as we can see in here, and we are just doing a left shift left with a 2. It is the same thing as multiplying by 4. I'm just doing it with a bitwise operation, so it's the same thing. So yeah, why do we multiply by 4? Because we have a word. Eventually, a word is a 4-byte value. So yeah, it's a 4-byte value. Eventually, it's a 32 bit. So eventually, when you look in the memory, you need to be jumping with the 4 values, which is basically equal to 4 bytes. Yeah. Now we have loaded the value. The next thing that we need to do is that we need to make sure that we add that value to the R2. So we need to be adding that value to the sum eventually. So sum plus equal to the array of I. And as you can see, I'm trying to give you the equivalent of this basically instructions that we have of the algorithm back with the assembly of the array, so you can understand exactly what's happening. Yeah, so next thing we need to increment the I, which means that we need to increment the R1 with a 1. So this is I plus plus. And once we do that, next thing we do is that we need to make sure that we stop looping. So we need to compare the R1 with what? So with the R3, because the R3 is the number of elements that we need to stop to. So we need to compare the R1 with the R3, and we're going to be branching when? When do we should be branching? We branch to back. We're going to be saying that we branch back to the loop, but we need to add the condition in here of branching. It's a suffix or a suffix that we have. So the loop. So when we should be branching is when the result of R1 is lower than the R3. So lower than. So we say that BLT back to loop. Otherwise, if everything is working fine, we can just go back and branch to the start. Just start back the program from the beginning. So this is basically what this loop is going to be having. So we can actually now just execute this and see what it's gonna be having. So I'm gonna be just doing a compile and load. And now we have the LDR is just pinpointing to the array. So the R0 is having the address of the array in memory. So if we go back into the stack pointer, the array is in here, one. So we're just seeing the array just loaded in there. Okay, so everything is working fine. Now the first thing first that we need to understand, this is the array by the way, this is a 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50, this thing. Yeah, so let's get back to the disassembly, and we have the R1 now, it's going to be having a 0, R2 is initialized to 0, R3 is having a 5, and we started to loop, and the R4 we have the A as we can see in here, and we're adding to the R2 the R4, and now the R2 is having an A, and the R1 is compared with the R3. R1 is having basically a 1, and we are still lower than the 5, which means that we are okay. So we loop back again, and we're loading now inside of R4 the second value, which is 20, and we're adding it up with a 10, and we're having 1E, which is completely okay and right. And we add a 1 to say that we are incrementing the I with a 1, and we compare, and we are actually looping until we find the result, which is now it's having 32. The R2 is having now 96, which means that if you open up, for example, Python 3 and you sum up the hex of 0x of 10 plus 20 plus 30 plus 40 plus 50, I'm gonna be having something like that, which is 96, the same one as the R2. Yeah, so we step into one other time, and now it's gonna be saying that comparing the R1, which is 5, with the R3, which is a 5. Now it's not lower than, it's greater or equal. So it's gonna be getting to the start, and we're gonna be starting to loop again and initializing back the values. Simple, right? So we have learned how to use branches, I guess. So the interesting things that we should also just know about is that for each of these suffixes we have, they are the same ones as the one that we were actually just using with the add, for example, add BLT for the branchless operations. So eventually they are the same ones. It's the simple table. You go and check the v7 instruction set. There's this little documentation in here. I would highly recommend anyone to take a look at this instruction set when you are doing reverse engineering, in case you want to know what an instruction is doing when playing with IDA or playing with Ghidra or whatever. So, but that's it, I guess. I suppose you've learned something new. Anyway, so before I end the video, just make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribing. You share the video with your friends if you want, like, if you feel like that this information is making sense for you. And don't forget also to activate the notification bell. Bye.